Ubisoft.
Yuck.
What can be said about Ubisoft? Well, first off,
Don't stick around and watch their credits because they take 10 years.
Skull and Bones, you guessed, has been delayed, and along with it, three other games that have never been announced have apparently been canceled in an attempt to save some money. Um, Apparently, this decision was made. What I've seen is because the Mario and Rabbids game that just came out, apparently didn't do what they were hoping. Um, Granted, you're making a game that can only come out on one system, so I mean, I feel like you have to set some expectations there. And I guess the only other big game that has come out was Just Dance. They haven't had anything else big here of late. But
Is
apparently
that right?
apparently. I mean, Valhalla came out when the PS5, the year of the PS5, so that was what, 2020?
Yeah.
Um it came out with the PS5 and the Series consoles. So, um apparently things have not been going well, so they've canceled 3 games that they've yet to announce and have, I assume, started work on. And they also announced that they they pushed Skull and Bones, which I told you I laughed like a lot when I saw that. And you brought up a good point of, does anybody want to play this game? And I'm not so sure about that. Um, like it feels like, I mean, when was this announced? It was announced back on the PS4. It was announced right after Black Flag, right? That they
I
were
think I said
working on this game.
it's been like 7 years or something, right?
It's gotta
7
be.
or 8
I
years.
mean, wasn't Black Flag the first Assassin's Creed on the PS4, or was it the
Yeah.
first Assassin's Creed only on the next gen console?
No, that came out like within the launch window.
And I want to say Skull and Bones was like a year or so after that. So, but maybe I'm wrong. But either way, it's been announced for, yeah, easily 6 or 7 years, and it just keeps getting pushed. And also, like, I liked Black Flag, which I know you didn't, and I think
I did not.
we're unsure of what the right opinion is.
It seems like most people like it. It seems like I'm in the minority.
But if I'm being honest, like, I thought Black Flag was good, but like, don't get me wrong, the boat combat and the boat combat that was in every Assassin's Creed game after that was definitely like my least favorite part of each of those. And granted, like, Black Flag was bad. Like, it had a lot of boat combat, and compared to these other ones where it's like much more like, um, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but regardless, Uh, this is literally just Black Flag, except you don't get to hop off the boat and run around islands here and there. You just do boat combat, and that sounds fucking awful to me.
Mhm.
But apparently they're sticking with it. Like, I wish they would have canceled this 5 years ago.
They should have, like, seen the success of Sea of Thieves and just been like, "Okay, we're gonna be compared to this, and
Yeah.
our we're not gonna get our investment back."
Yeah, they should have seen the success of that and been like, we can't do that.
No.
Um, but yeah, this is it's, I'll say, rather troublesome. I think it's been talked about a good bit that, like, Ubisoft is actually one of those companies, like, people love to throw around like, oh, because Microsoft bought Call of Duty, or is trying to. People throw around like, oh, well, since Microsoft did that, Sony should buy Square Enix and Microsoft should buy Rockstar and stuff like that. And when people throw that around, a lot of people have brought up the point of like, yeah, that's fine and all, except you're bringing up companies that typically, for the most part, Square Enix sold off some stuff, but like, they still have their like money makers, we'll say. Whereas Ubisoft feels like one of those companies that like could be kind of in trouble. Like, if you're gonna bring up like a well known big company, air quotes around all of that, Ubisoft would be the one that's like most likely to be acquired. And
Mhm.
I don't think that's the case or anything, but like, this kind of lends credence to that a little bit of like, the only thing that they can do is uh you know try and make 30 different Assassin's Creed games in a year to tread water. they've brought up that they're rebooting Splinter Cell, not to like throw shade at that, but like, they're trying to go the safe route with a lot of this stuff. I mean, they did Immortals Phoenix Rising, which was a new IP, and I don't know how that was received. I mean, Jess, it took her like 30 years to try and start playing that, right? Um,
Yeah, I have that game. I have that game. I've enjoyed it so far. I have not beat it. So
but I mean,
I would say that's a decent game.
it's just what Fortnite skinned Assassin's Creed, right?
Pretty much, yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Like graphics wise, like it's very like,
Yeah, yeah, I would say Fortnite is the perfect comparison.
right, but like it's an Assassin's Creed game because that's all Ubisoft really makes for the most part. Which, don't get me wrong, I love climbing a tower to unlock the map and then doing a swan dive into a pile of hay. I think it's funny
Well,
while an eagle caws in the distance, but um, you know, they know what they are, I guess. Uh, so it's not surprising to see this, but also it kind of worries you. I mean, I think you and I can look at our game libraries, games that we've played over the years, and I would say both of us probably are fairly dominated in terms of like duplicates from companies with Ubisoft, right?
I mean, I
Um,
have like 6 copies of every Splinter Cell game, so
yeah, I mean, you have Splinter Cell. We both played Ghost Recon, and I know you have even more of those. I know you were big into like Rainbow Six. That like we played. What was the one, Vegas?
yeah, yeah. Vegas and Vegas too.
Right? Like we played those a ton with the like terrorist hunt, like
Yeah,
blast.
and we played Siege a ton when it first came out.
We did, yeah. The Division, um, Assassin's Creed, obviously. You early on, me more so now. Um, Watch Dogs. I mean, they have like a lot of like hits, right? For us,
Mhm.
specifically. Um, that it's like it sucks that I sit here and go, this isn't surprising at all. It's I think everybody has gotten to the point where it's like Ubisoft is getting stale. Um, but it's just like such a shame because again, they had like dominated for both of us for so long, and now it just feels like again they can't like tread water.
I consider them my favorite developer for, I would say, probably all of the PS3 generation and, like, maybe the first quarter of the PS4 generation,
Hmm.
and then, like, I just had enough.
They refuse to like you
Give us
know
Splinter Cell.
well that, but they refuse to like change, right, like to try something new, and so it just got stale. And now when they do try something new, it's the same old again,
Mhm.
Immortals. And you just like you don't feel anything, right? You don't feel like they've done something. You feel like you can only rely on when they just give you another one of their main series because it's safe. And I'm all for them rebooting Splinter Cell because I care about you and I love you very much.
I appreciate you.
Um,
I don't know
but
if you saw, but they did have a Splinter Cell announcement today, I think.
oh really?
Yeah, Sam Fisher's coming to Siege.
I am so sorry.
Almost jumped out a window when I saw that. And you need to understand that the top floor of my house is only, like, 15 feet from the ground, so, like, it would've just hurt, it wouldn't have killed me.
Right, right. Um, yeah, it really throws into question like what it is that they're doing. We got what, three new Assassin's Creed games announced, with like Mirage, and I forget what the code names of the other ones were, but like two of those felt like they were really missing the boat on like
Mhm.
when they could have capitalized on the idea. It just it sucks. It really sucks. And then on top of that, you shared with me that it's Ubisoft Paris, right? That it was encouraged to strike.
Yeah. And it's my understanding that Ubisoft Paris is, like, the first, like, the keystone studio there because Ubisoft is a French company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is the quote: "Because Mr. Guillemot and his clique only understand the relationship of power, Solidaires Informatique is calling on the employees of Ubisoft Paris to go on strike." And it's just it's weird. I'm all for them going on strike, but just some of the personalities we've gotten in gaming as far as like leadership go have been so weird and so tone deaf.
Right. I mean,
And I thought I maybe read that Ubisoft Toronto was considering the same thing.
yeah, and I mean, this is what Eve said. He said, uh, one sec. Uh, he said, "Today more than ever, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success. I am also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and lean as possible. The ball is in your court to deliver this lineup on time and at the expected level of quality and show everyone what we are capable of achieving." It's a really like out of touch statement. It's a statement of like you read that and all I hear is like none of this falls on me, but I'm leadership.
So he apologized today,
Yep.
Wednesday. And I want to know if you think what he said sounds better than his, in air quotes, apology. And I don't mean to make that sound biased before I even read it. But he said, quote, "I hear your feedback and I'm sorry this was perceived that way."
Oh, okay.
When saying the ball is in your court to deliver our lineup on time and at the expected level of quality, I wanted to convey the idea that more than ever, I need your talent and energy to make it happen. This is a collective journey that starts, of course, with myself and the leadership team to create conditions for all of us to succeed together.
I mean, it's still that the apology reads the same way. It reads as you're the lackey, like get
I'm
it
sorry
done.
that you didn't understand me. Like he's still putting blame on the studios.
Right. He's not saying like right. I mean, it's so like blind, right? It's so like we gave you a timeline, so it's on you. It doesn't matter at that point, right? Like there's no uh flexibility is what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like you know what it is, you know what you have to do it. That's it. End of story.
And it's not like he said, "I'm sorry, I misspoke. I shouldn't have said it that way." He said, "I'm sorry that you didn't understand me."
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't understand me. Let me reiterate exactly what it is that you thought I meant.
Right.
uh so
I hope they go on strike, and,
yeah.
you know, it sucks because, the people on the front lines of these studios are gonna be the ones that are ultimately gonna be punished, but, like, I think Ubisoft kinda needs a moment of, I don't know if clarity is the right word, but, I think a lot of developers can get, and developers, I mean, just people who work for development studios, can get a lot of jobs elsewhere. And as much as I, at least used to love Ubisoft, they need a reset, a really hard reset.
Yeah. I mean, this like it echoes, I think, a lot of just not to get like on my soapbox about this, but I think this mimics a lot of just like corporate you know, thoughts, right? Like where those at the very top are so out of touch with the people who are actually like pushing and doing the work that I mean, it's just not surprising. And I think we see it even more so with like gaming because, you know, that's just I guess the world that like we're mostly focused on.
But it's also like it's weird. It's been such a shift. I would say like from the PS3 era forward. And right now it's so unfortunate because everyone's playing catch up with Tencent, and like Tencent by no means is a good way to run a business, but they are the most successful.
Right.
And it's just weird when you get these leaders coming in and not to be incredibly biased, but I think Phil Spencer does a really good job, and I feel like Satya Nadella really um, kind of empowers him to like actually lead a good business. And then you look at like the Gilmonts and I forget the CEO of Tencent. But you look at them, and I don't think Jim Ryan is to that extreme, but he certainly leads towards it. It's like these people have never played a video game in their life. They've just run businesses.
Right. Right.
It's just
The
it's weird.
the people at the top just have those dollar signs in their eyes.
Hmm.
That's it. Like, you don't have the head of Ubisoft isn't a diehard Assassin's Creed fan. They're a diehard fan of the money that Assassin's Creed has made.
More like Assassin's Creed, huh?
Oh, look at you.
That's what I'm here for.
Um, it's a shame. It's a shame to see. I don't love to see the fact that somebody has been working on something and that is just gone now, you know. I don't think anybody's a fan of working on something, implementing something, creating something just to have it become null. Like, you put
Hmm.
time, days, months, years potentially into something to have it now gone. But meanwhile, PC Gamer has done a nice job of putting together a list of all the times Ubisoft has said that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development. And,
I don't even know what that game is. To be 100% honest with you.
well, it's the sequel to Beyond Good and Evil.
Never heard of that game either.
um, in May of 2008, that was the first time that they hinted at Beyond Good and Evil 2 being a thing. And then
Okay.
later in the month, they showed off a trailer that included some characters from Beyond Good and Evil that led people to believe that what was being shown was going to be stuff from Beyond Good and Evil 2. And it is 2023 now. And this month, Ubisoft confirmed Beyond Good and Evil 2 has not been canceled. It is, as it always has been, still in development.
Good. I want to play it.
I can't wait to get my hands on it. By the time I get my hands on it, it'll be 27 years in the making, and here's to
I
playing
just
as a talking pig or something.
I just really want to play this Xbox 360 game.
Oh, you want to play Beyond Good and Evil?
No, 2.
Oh, oh,
Because you said it was announced in 2008, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. You got me, don't you?
It's been a slow development. They've had to then update as like new consoles have come out. It's, as George R. R. Martin would say about the dragons. Don't worry, they're coming. They're on the way. They'll be here soon. It's a little South Park reference.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, anything else on Ubisoft?
Give me Splinter Cell.
Louder.
Give me Splinter Cell. It's a sneaky game. I can't be too loud when I say it.
Smart. Yeah. For you, I hope. You know, every night before bed, I do a little prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Kneel at the side of my bed, hands clasped, and say, "Dear Eves, please, for my friend Michael, make Splinter Cell again. Make Splinter Cell great again."
He's like, no.
No, we
I will
hate
put
him.
I will put him in every game but his own.
Ugh. I can't imagine going through Stadia dying, and I can't imagine having my favorite character just get fucking jerked around like that.
I should really just stop being me.
Yeah,
Is
you should just stop caring about things, Mike.
as someone who was forced to move away from a Windows phone, I think the onus is on me now to just stop being such an asshole.
All right. Enough about Ubisoft.